Yeah, the Lions could get Burrow. That'd be nice.
All right, we're back on the 6-3 podcast again. Got Isaiah and RJ chilling on cam here via Zoom. Only got 40 glorious minutes with you guys, but we are probably not going to take that long to do a combined 33-pick mock draft.
33 picks. Look at that.
Yeah, everyone's got to get 11 here. We're trying to be equal and everything.
Being fair, you don't want to be left out and only get 10.
I know that's basically what it's all about me now. So we're gonna kick it off. Isaiah gets to do pick 1. RJ will do 2, and I'll do 3, and then Isaiah back to 4. We'll go from there. The draft is underway. Isaiah, kill it.
All right. Well, one of the probably the least surprising pick of the first round, the Cincinnati Bengals will take Joe Burrow, quarterback from LSU.
All right. Why do you think that's a big need for him there?
I don't think it's obvious that they're trying to move on from Andy Dalton. I think, worse Kirk Cousins is not the future at quarterback for them. So, I don't think you can mess this one up if you're the Bengals. Just take the Heisman winner.
The Cincinnati fans will probably riot if you don't take Burrow.
Yeah. Yes. You don't want your player booed more than Roger Goodell at the draft. So.
Did you see that you're allowed to hashtag boo the commish, and then they'll play those boos when the commish announces still. But it's raising money this time. So the benefit is that, Roger Goodell, instead of getting booed for free, he gets to raise money now in the process. It's a win.
As long as you get a boo.
All right, RJ, pick 2.
All right, the Washington Redskins on the clock. Some people still think they should go quarterback, but I think the owner runs this team. He makes all the picks. The owner loves Dwayne Haskins. So then it goes down to defense. Do you want the corner? Do you want the pass rusher? Now, Redskins have a lot of good defensive linemen, but Ryan Kerrigan is 32 years old. He is going to the last year of his contract. So you can't pass up on the once-in-a-generation pass rusher like Chase Young at Ohio State. They run up to the board.
What do you mean once in a generation? He's the same as Nick Bosa and Joey Bosa, both out of Ohio State in the last 6 years.
Yeah, well, that's a fluke. There's crazy amount of talent out of it. You got to even think you got the Bosa.
Just playing devil's advocate, Brett. Just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. I would say those 3 guys are the best defensive linemen to come out of the draft in the last 15 years, though.
Fair enough.
All the same school. Crazy.
Lions, our beloved Lions. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
Our beloved Lions are picking at 3, and obviously this draft that we're doing has no trades. And even if there were trades, we just heard Jeff Risdon from Real GM and Lions Wire say that a trade is highly unlikely. The Dolphins seem pretty happy there at 5, which means the Chargers will probably get the guy that they want too. So I am on the Jeff Okudah cornerback from Ohio State train just because I don't need to see an offensive tackle here right now, at least. And quarterback, I'm not ready to move on from Stafford like that. And Isaiah Simmons is mainly a safety in the Lions system. And we, again, like Risdon said, we don't need that. So Jeff Okudah is the best option if you're stuck at 3.
Right. Well, my New York Giants hat is on now. And I think I don't know. The New York Giants, they have a lot of options in my mind that they could do. Obviously, they got their quarterback last year, running back a couple years ago. They are in a much slower rebuild, I think, than other teams. I think they, at least I assume that they're good with kind of taking their time. So I think something you have to address when you get your quarterback and when you get your running back is offensive line. And I was trying to, I don't know. It was hard to pick between the 3 of my top offensive tackles. Jedrick Wills, Tristan Wirfs, and Mekhi Becton are the top 3 to me. I think Jedrick Wills is the best of those 3, though. I think being from Alabama churns out those offensive linemen. I think they go with Jedrick Wills, offensive tackle, Alabama.
Right. Yeah, well, there's rumors now. I was listening to NFL Network earlier, and they're saying that the Giants, Gettleman, has done multiple FaceTime interviews with Justin Herbert after they draft Daniel Jones. What is this smokescreen coming to? Or what is Gettleman on? I mean, we all know Gettleman's insane, but
Yeah.
Horrible, Jim. That would be the ultimate horrible pick right there. They would go quarterback after.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones looked pretty good last year as a rookie.
yeah, no, he was dropping dimes, Danny Dimes.
I think if you're gonna do that, you have to trade the quarterback before the draft. Because if you draft the other quarterback, even though you're trying to get rid of this guy, it says more against your current quarterback if you draft his replacement while he's still on your roster. You got to get rid of him before that, and at least think to someone like, I don't know, at least a little bit of smokescreen. But yeah, I would be very surprised if the Giants went quarterback.
Yeah, I think we all would. It's just an interesting thing I saw on NFL Network during my lunch break today. RJ, you have the first of 3 first-round picks for the Miami Dolphins at 5 here. What's going on?
They need quarterback. We've been saying for a while the whole tank for Tua. But the issue with Tua is the Dolphins have not seen him since the scouting combine. They haven't had a chance to do a second face-to-face doctor checkup. So I think that scares them away from Tua. I think they go safe, and I think they go quarterback Justin Herbert.
Tank for Justin.
All right.
All right, well, that leaves the Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers, there at 6. And they just obviously moved on from Phillip Rivers. And I don't think they're ready to have Tyrod Taylor back in a starting role. Oh, he may start the season out probably in the first. I do like Tyrod, so this is still hard for me because I've always been on the Tyrod bandwagon. But I think either way, if Tyrod is still the veteran presence they need to groom the quarterback, I think Tua is going to be their guy. So I'm going to put Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback Alabama, here, and maybe he learns up to the bye week from Tyrod Taylor, but I think he'll be on that team, both QBs.
Yeah. I think most sports fans, I hope, want everyone that gets drafted and every player to be healthy and to do well. And I think Tua, if you're
Yes.
looking, if you play for Ohio State, then I don't really care for you. But I think Tua has more success with the Chargers with having someone ahead of him, a stronger candidate ahead of him that he can learn under, and someone who plays somewhat similar to him in Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
All right.
Picking for the Carolina Panthers there at 7.
Oh, I thought I had some easy picks, but this is kind of a tough one too. Not really, but it could be. I was thinking of going with defensive line a la Derek Brown, but I think the Carolina Panthers got a new coach. They're hitting some headlines with how they've treated Cam Newton and some people not liking that. I think they're going to try to hit some headlines again with one of the biggest headlines from the draft and get Luke Kuechly's replacement, or what could be Luke Kuechly's replacement, with Isaiah Simmons.
Okay. Yeah, they have somewhat of a need at safety and somewhat of a need at linebacker. But my qualms with Simmons is there's no denying his athletic talent and abilities, but you can't play 5 successful positions in the NFL. So even if he killed it like that in college, you can't be a leader at all those positions. So they're going to have to stick with a position that they feel. What's RJ?
You don't need to have him play 2, though. If you have a good defensive coordinator that knows how to move him around and put him in positions to make plays, you can put him at safety. You can put him at linebacker. With the right defensive mind coaching him, the dude could be a stud. That's why I don't want him in Detroit, because I don't think they have – even though we have a genius head coach, I don't think his team is smart enough to use his talents correctly.
Well, that and just the way the scheme already is, if they're trying to draft players specific to scheme, I mean, Simmons is kind of exactly what Risden said. He's supposed to play the Jamie Collins type of guy, and Jamie Collins is one of the best in the game at that, especially if he's playing like he wants to be there. So obviously we're going to see the real Jamie Collins in real form the first couple games until maybe they start out 0-3 and then Jamie Collins gives up like he did with the Browns. But we're also stacked in the safety department. So they invested heavily in free agency and safeties. They've already had a couple of safeties. They took a third-round pick on a trade-up. We get Will Harris last year and Tracy Walker on top of that. So no need for a safety at all. Isaiah Simmons doesn't fit the lines, but he does fit very well with the Panthers. So I do think that's a good pick, Isaiah.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's always that one, not always one guy, but there's always someone in the draft who pops out, has some surprising numbers, just looks like an athletic freak. And even if the real world application or real football application might have some question marks, just because of how they acted at the draft, or the combine, they seem to get picked pretty high, regardless of those question marks.
Mm-hmm. RJ, pick 8, Arizona Cardinals.
All right. Well, Cardinals made, I think, the biggest trade of the offseason so far, bringing in DeAndre Hopkins, filling in a major hole, which allows them then here to help Kyler Murray in another way, offensive line. So they go and get another former Louisville Cardinal. So for him to help out, Mekhi Becton, big offense tackle.
Mekhi Becton's good, and he's obviously showed athleticism there at the combine too. I actually have him as my 4th offensive tackle. I do. I have Tristan Wirfs first. I have Jedrick Wills. Then I have Andrew Thomas, and then Mekhi Becton.
Thomas? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that obviously I made that pick a long time ago saying a Cardinal's going to go to the Cardinals back when I was super high on Mekhi Becton. But if they're, in fact, still Tristan Wirfs and Andrew Thomas still on that board,
I think Andrew Thomas is more of a right tackle. I think Becton's more athletic.
Yeah, Becton's going to be more movable. Let's just say that. He could at least adjust to wherever they need him on that line. So Mekhi Becton's good for the versatility, for sure.
Yeah. Well, and he just has a little more lateral speed. And with a guy like Kyler Murray back there, you need a guy who can move around a bit.
Help move around with his quarterback, basically, as long as he's not going to be that ineligible man downfield. You know what I'm saying? So
right. Yes.
So number 9, Jacksonville Jaguars. They've got definitely needs in the secondary, but I'm not that high on C.J. Henderson yet. Grant Delpit pops into my mind a little bit here. I do like Delpit, but man, they needed an interior defensive lineman just as bad to, kind of replace Calais Campbell or something. So I'm going to take Derek Brown here at the 9th pick overall, interior defensive lineman from Auburn. He could be the next Nick Fairley, but he could be an Aaron Donald. There is a ceiling and a floor for sure.
I feel he has a better work ethic than Nick Fairley, so I'm not as worried as he's going to have that big of a floor, because Nick Fairley, you could kind of see the red flags that the dude was lazy.
Yeah.
With Derek Brown, he looks like he's better shape. He looks like he plays with a higher motor. So I think I'm not as worried as I was with Nick Fairley when the Lions took him.
Yeah.
Well, we got the Browns next. Everybody loves them. It's their year again. I think they could go 2 ways here if the draft ends up how we've drafted so far, which we probably aren't 100% right.
Oh, come on.
We're
experts.
I could see them even with just maybe if there is actual disgruntlement with Odell Beckham and with Landry in that locker room, and if there are some things, I could see them being the first team to pick a wide receiver. I don't think that will happen, though. I know the Browns love to make a splash, but I think they go pretty, at least what most people would think is kind of mundane. And if it goes how we've gone, they're going to get a great pick in Tristan Wirfs.
I like that pick there. That's good value. He's, again, like I said, he's the best offensive tackle, probably best offensive lineman in this entire draft. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
And
if you can get him at number 10, that's good value.
Definitely.
A guy I would love to see go to 10 in Cleveland is Isaiah Simmons, because, what better way to stop Lamar than to get a freak athlete that can just die on him all the time?
Yeah. I think Cleveland would love that, but I don't know. If GMs take those question marks we kind of raised as seriously as some of us do, then I could see that happening, but I don't know.
Yeah, so, we saw what they did, though, in the brief stint that the guy they drafted in the first round a couple years ago. That's also very versatile. Jabril Peppers. I mean, again, different types of players, but they couldn't make it work with Jabril Peppers. And again, I don't think they have the coaching necessary to get the best out of Isaiah Simmons either. So they'd be another flop like the Lions would have too.
All right.
You
For
really
11.
thinking hard about this one?
No, not at all. Number 11, New York Jets. You got your quarterback a couple years ago. It's time to get him some weapons. I mean, the wide receiver core of the Jets is lacking. So it just depends on who's your favorite receiver. That's my personal favorite, at least top one. I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy. I think he's all-around talent. Henry Ruggs is just a speedster. CeeDee Lamb, it's Big 12. I mean, I feel like any receiver can put up great numbers in the Big 12. So I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy, New York Jets, number 1 receiver.
Okay. Well, the Raiders get what did they have 2 or 3 picks in this first round too?
2.
Okay, yeah, they got 12 and they got 19. They can afford to pick. I think their 2 biggest needs. I think their second biggest need will fall to them at 19. We'll see how you guys play that out, but I think they can also take a wide receiver here, and I think they really want speed slot receiver. So I think Henry Ruggs, the third wide receiver, Alabama, and get another Alabama guy like they did last year in the first round with Josh Jacobs. See if they can get another splash from an Alabama boy.
All right. Well, I think we could have something. I'd have to look at the record books, but might be unprecedented. I think with the 13th pick with San Francisco, I could see them just because, I mean, to have the 13th pick the year after being the Super Bowl runner-up is pretty sweet. So they don't have a ton of glaring needs to me. I could see them going cornerback, but I don't think there's anyone worth it with the 13th pick when you have a guy like CeeDee Lamb on the board. So I think they get another offensive weapon to scheme in whatever way they can think up, and I think they go CeeDee Lamb. Get a big body, a guy who can catch the ball no matter how it's thrown to him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 3 straight receivers. Is that what you were talking about, unprecedented?
That's what I was talking about, unprecedented. I don't know if that's ever been –
especially this early in the draft. Yeah, this early in the draft, too.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
That's another 3 great receivers going 3 straight picks. It's amazing. Tampa Bay.
Jefferson. Just kidding.
Well, they got the GOAT this offseason.
Yeah.
So this pick is all about now, winning now. They have I would go Jefferson, but they have tons of targets for Tom Brady to throw to. They don't have the best offensive line to block for him.
Mm-hmm.
Run the same scheme in New England. Get rid of the ball in a second and a half.
Yeah. So to help out with keeping Tom Brady on the field and not on the bench injured, I'm going to go Andrew Thomas, tackle from Georgia.
Yeah, it's a good value pick for sure. It's interesting if obviously they still have to plan long-term in the future. Brady might be there 1 or 2 more years and stuff, but Andrew Thomas, definitely a nice piece there, hopefully long-term for them. And, like I said, if Brady gets rid of the ball like he did in New England in a second and a half or 2 seconds, he doesn't really have to worry about a pass rush, but it's Bruce Arians. He's going to let it fly.
Yeah, that's not how Bruce plays. He doesn't do those short passes. He takes
Mm-hmm.
deep shots a lot.
Gosh, man, the Broncos are up, and you stole all the wide receivers. I mean, let's just say we stole the wide receivers. Each one of us picked one. But, gosh, I still don't see Justin Jefferson high enough on their board to get here. They also need offensive tackle, but we took all those guys off the board. So they're making this one a little more difficult on me. I think in this case they will have to take a flyer on a very speedy, athletic corner, C.J. Henderson. I'm going to have C.J. Henderson go to the Denver Broncos here at pick 15.
All right. All right. Well, I have the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know if the Atlanta Falcons really know what they're doing. So I have no idea. I don't have a huge idea where they're going to go in the draft.
So you have no idea what you're doing. All right.
I no, because I don't know what's going through there.
It's already better than Doan. If Doan was making the pick for the Falcons, he'd say the Air Force Falcons are picking at 16. Remember when he picked Joey Bosa again last year and Devin Bush instead of Devin White? He just botched them all, man. Isaiah's the real deal here.
Well, I think they can handle with their offense. I think the Atlanta's offense needs less work than their defense, so I really want them to go defense on here. I think that defensive line needs some love, and I think the guy they would go with would be an interior guy at Javon Kinlaw from South Carolina.
I like Javon Kinlaw, yeah. He was the guy that I was hoping if the Lions did trade back to, 5 or so, then, maybe they get pick 18 there. And boom, bada bing, they get Javon Kinlaw and maybe Jeff Okudah or something at 5 if that was indeed an opportunity. But Javon Kinlaw, I'm really high on him. And in some cases, I think I'm more higher on him than Derek Brown, at least draft value-wise.
Yeah, I don't know. Kinlaw and Brown seem closer to me than they will be drafted. I think they'll be drafted maybe 10 picks away from each other. So I think they're if you're going value overall, I only think they're a couple picks away from each other.
Kinlaw's more of the pass rusher, and obviously Brown is a dominant run stuffer. So,
yeah.
Well, Jerry's on the clock for the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh, America's team.
You guys have let me down by getting off of the wide receiver train we've had going. So I'm going to jump us back on the tracks here.
Oh, boy.
I'm going
with
Bryant Jefferson.
All right, Justin.
Wide receiver, LSU.
Yeah, there's still a lot of LSU guys here in the next, 10 on most big boards and stuff. There's still 4 more guys on the next 10. So Justin Jefferson makes it only 3. Good pick. I can see Jefferson on the back of a Cowboys jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins' second pick. Man. Huh. Again, you took their other really major need out of there. Offensive tackle. Josh Jones is the next one I have on my board, but not high on Josh Jones. I think he's going to be a second-round pick. Too high for interior offensive line. Basically, their entire offensive line is depleted. So they still took a quarterback because obviously that you build around that. So they might have to jump into a defensive position. I'm going to say safety, and I'm going to say I like Grant Delpit over Xavier McKinney.
Ooh.
So 2 straight LSU guys.
That's who I think Miami's going to pick too. I'm pretty high on Grant Delpit. I think he's got a lot of promise. He's got a lot of upside to me.
Yeah. Raiders' second pick.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Ooh.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Queen.
Well, Joel did them a favor and got them their wide receiver at pick number 12.
You're welcome.
As he mentioned, I had the same mindset of him in going with a cornerback at pick 19. I think the best guy available, still up there for cornerback. I don't know. I was thinking Jeff Gladney, but I like C.J. Henderson from Florida.
C.J. Henderson's off the board. He went at 15.
Oh, he did? Oh, my goodness. Ben Gladney. Sorry.
Oh, man. I thought we were going to go 3 straight LSU guys and take Christian Fulton. All right. We'll go Gladney, Texas Christian.
All right. I'm sorry I did not write that down on my notes.
Yeah, it's all good. Gladney's got to put on a little more weight, though, on the rib cages. He is just above 180, and he's 6 foot tall. So he's kind of a beanpole. So at the NFL level, try to put on some weight, and he could be a nice little piece there for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Well, pick 20, got the Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock again. Earlier, you gave them a big defensive player, defensive lineman to help out their need. Their biggest need left on the board is still corner. They were hoping C.J. Henderson would fall to them here.
Yeah.
That has not happened. Without another corner going off the board, I think they have to immediately – they start another run at corner. They run up to the board, and they get Jalen Johnson, quarterback from
I
Utah.
love Jalen Johnson, dude. I was really hoping, if I didn't pick for the Lions at like a corner like Okudah, if I didn't pick him at 3, I was hoping in the second round he might slip to them at 35. So he's a guy that's been climbing up a lot of draft boards really fast, though, because you look a month back already, he was probably right around the 120 range on big boards. So he's jumping down in the first round. I think that's a good pick. And I think I sent you guys screenshots earlier of the completion percentage against him is 13% on plays that are over 10 plus yards. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's far and above even these elite guys in here like CJ Henderson or Jeff Okudah.
He was at almost 50%, wasn't he? I think 48% Okudah was.
No, the highest was 48 that I saw, and that was CJ Henderson. Okudah was 33, though, which is still pretty good. 13 is ridiculous. So Jalen Johnson, great pick there from Utah. Philadelphia Eagles. Now, they were pretty much on Justin Jefferson. So RJ removed that opportunity, having the Cowboys take him. But I think in real life, it's just the way this one obviously played out. I think in real life, not that many receivers are going to go in the first 17 picks. So I think in real life, you'd fall there. I have to try to come up with a new plan because the Eagles are now fumbling around with their papers. I mean, like, why didn't we trade up? Because Justin Jefferson's off now. And I'm fumbling around in my papers. Gosh, man, I am baffled. But I think if they now have they had a bad cornerback class. I mean, a bad cornerback group last year. They just upgraded with Darius Slay. But they can also still think long-term. Darius Slay is still the same age he was when he was in Detroit. And they had an abysmal corner group last year. I think having Christian Fulton and his 6 foot, 200-pound frame, obviously a national champion, knows how to win, playing on an elite SEC conference. I think Christian Fulton's a great pick here for him. I'm going to take him.
Yeah, the Eagles need a lot of help at cornerback.
Yeah, Darius Slay helps, but again, he's still old.
Yeah, I know, and I get wide receiver though, but yeah, I agree with you. I don't think there's if the people that came off the board when we picked them, by this time I don't think the Eagles are gonna jump that high on a guy that's really a second, maybe even a late second rounder.
Yeah. So you get to pick your first Madden team, Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, I get to pick my old team. Part of me wants to just tell him to get a new quarterback because Kirk Cousins isn't the future because I don't like playing with him in Madden. But I don't know. They're one team where I could see them jumping up with one of these. I mean, they have 22 and 25. I could see them, but they're in win now mode. They're in compete now mode. They're not going to get a guy that needs to be groomed. They have too much money locked up in Kirk Cousins to even think that they're not going to do something. So I think they need some help. More so, I think, again, they need some wide receiver help. I think with the people that have come off our list again, I don't think they'd go that with 22. I think they might with 25. So I think they need an edge. I think they need someone that can be that presence. And I think they would go with A.J. Epinesa from Iowa.
All right.
22.
All right, RJ, you're picking for the Patriots at 23. We now have 9 minutes to make 9 picks. Let's scurry through.
I'll get it quick then. Huge need they have is tight end. I don't think there's any tight ends worth first-round pick. They're right in front of the Saints now. The Saints are a team that could potentially take a future quarterback, take over for Drew Brees. So the Patriots take quarterback here, Jordan Love out of Utah State.
Ooh, I like it. Jordan Love fits really nicely there. Oh, man. New Orleans Saints then will go to 24. Won't do a whole lot of extra analysis on that pick, even though it's moving on from the GOAT. The Saints need a lot of help at linebacker. I do not like the linebacker. This is one of the weakest linebacker classes I think I've ever watched a film on. So I don't really want to reach still here. Gosh. And if there were more quarterback options, maybe they could start prepping for the future with Drew Brees. I think they are going to – gosh darn. I think they're going to take a wide receiver then in this situation. And I think Denzel Mims put on a show at the Combine. I am going to take Denzel Mims, wide receiver, Baylor.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm back with the Vikings once again.
Meant to be.
Gosh, it's just meant to be. Yeah. So like I said, I think they, after getting some turnover in the wide receiver department, I think they want another weapon there. I think they go with, from Colorado, Laviska Shenault Jr. At wide receiver. I don't think they want to wait to get a top wide receiver till they're picking the second round. So I think this is where they take him.
All right. Yeah, definitely interesting pick. RJ, Miami Dolphins second. Is this their last pick of the first round?
The last one, yeah. They went quarterback in the first pick. They went safety the second pick. Offensive line still they need an edge rusher. But, they brought in Jordan Howard. But I don't think that's going to be enough at this point. So I think they're going to follow suit of the Raiders last year. They're going to go running back with their third pick of the first round, DeAndre Swift out of Georgia.
All right. I like that pick. Seahawks then. Best player on the board right now, on most big boards at least, pretty much unanimously, is K'Lavon Chaisson, edge rusher from LSU. And they need a pass rusher. So conveniently enough, best player on the board, fits their biggest need. I'm taking K'Lavon Chaisson, edge rusher, LSU.
All right. We got the Ravens next. I even in my mock draft, I had a tough time going for the Ravens just because I didn't really know what they needed, because I thought they were a pretty not complete team last year, but I thought they were much better than how they performed. I think something they could use though is offensive line. And I think they go with Austin Jackson from USC.
Okay. All right. America's surprise team, RJ, the Tennessee Titans. They made it that far.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was hoping to fill the offensive tackle need there with losing their right tackle, but you just took Austin, so I guess we're going to have to go to another position of not really need, but, I mean, if you make this pick, you actually have a dominant interior defensive line. So I'm going to go with defensive tackle Ross Blacklock, TCU.
Blaylock. All right. Blaylock. All right. Green Bay Packers. What pick do I want to put on them that maybe is 310th on the big board? I want them to totally botch this. Oh, man. You know what, man? Someone always reaches. I'm going to do it. I'm going to reach. I'm going to so reach. They need tight end, man. They need tight end bad. And there's no tight ends in this draft, and in a lot of people's big boards, he's not that popular. But I am going to pick. Gosh, man. Let me scroll through these guys. I'm going to pick Missouri's tight end, Albert Okuabunam.
All right.
You just wanted to pronounce the name right. That's it.
I did. You don't want to mess those up. That's their God-given name. You can't screw that up. San Francisco gets their second pick of the first round, even though they went to a Super Bowl. Lucky.
Yes. So I think something they need to address, not need, well, and obviously at pick 31 need, but you can't have Richard Sherman as your top cornerback at his age. So I think they address cornerback. They get a young guy. You'll have to I missed a couple picks, so you'll have to make sure he's still on the board. But Trayvon Diggs from Alabama.
Trayvon Diggs is on the board.
Yep, I like him. I think he's just someone who can learn. I don't think they obviously need someone to make an impact right away. So I think he's someone who can grow.
RJ, you get your last pick for the Super Bowl champs. What's going on here?
All right. The defending Super Bowl champs, they can go a lot of ways. Some people think they could add another running back, but I'm going to concede. I'm going to put a little bit of Michigan tie into this one, and we're going to go. He could be center, he could be guard. Cesar Ruiz.
Neat.
The guy.
Neat. Big C. All right, I'm going to close this out. I'll give the Bengals one more pick to not screw up. And I think they would do themselves a favor getting a very long and stretchable Yetur Gross Matos, edge rusher from Penn State.
Again, on the pronunciation, amazing.
That's why I picked these guys, man. I did all that studying on their names. Make sure I get that in.
You had to pick them.
For sure. All right, well, this concludes our 2020 combined mock draft. We are going to each make our own mock draft, post it on the Book of Face and Instagram. And maybe TikTok, because that's really big right now.
Yeah, why not?
Or maybe our website.
Yeah, maybe our website too. Lastly. So yeah, we'll try to get on next week again to do a group. Maybe we can go a little longer than 40 minutes. So I'm going to try to upgrade by then because clock's ticking. We're down to 1 minute and 10. So let's plan on
draft next week.
It's post-draft. We're going to talk a lot about went on. So that's the plan for next week's show. Maybe we'll go guestless. I don't know if we're going to get any extra people on next week. We might need a break from all these celebrities we're hanging out with. So
right. It'll be nice to talk about new sports for the first time in 2 months.
You're right. Either be happy with the Lions pick or we're all going to be on here angry. One way or another, we'll find out.
We'll be here either way.
Just crying with you through it. We got tissues. All right, guys. Thanks for popping on. We'll see you next week on the 6-3 podcast.
Yeah.